Check. Hey, let's just make sure our levels are good here before we get into it. 1 2 1 2. Hey.
Hey.
Hi.
Hi.
Wait for the stupid commercial. Hello. Hey, check 1 2. Hey, what's up?
I move away from the mic so I can breathe.
Check. Hey, let's just make sure our levels are good here before we get into it. 1 2 1 2. Hey. It sounds fine to me. All right. This week on NintenDomain, those realistic Pokemon look really scary.
I reckon I'm going to rob that stagecoach.
You're a stagecoach. Welcome to NintenDomain episode. Man, I should remember episodes. This live shit is difficult.
You're seeing it live and uncut, folks.
Just give me 1 second. It pays to get the edited version. It's a lot better. I swear.
But you don't have to pay for it.
No, but it pays to hear it, is what I'm saying. Welcome to NintenDomain, episode 147. We are your hosts. I'm Trey, almost Lacrimosa Johnson.
I'm Jeremy, got a frog on my head, Mikowski.
You do. And John has... He's not able to join us this week because he moved last week, and he's still getting his internet fixed and all that.
And Skulltulla's kidnapped him.
And he also got stuck in a Skulltula web, is what he wanted to say. So that's what's going on. And also what's going on is, just for the fun of it, we're just going to stream this on Twitch at twitch.tv/NintenDomain podcast. So if anybody happens to watch this and send us a comment or something, we can, we'll read it on here. So if you hear that, for those of you listening at home, you'll know that's what it is. But, it was something that was suggested by guest of the show, Fuchsia Rascal, last week. Said that we should stream it, which we've tried to stream it before on YouTube, but maybe Twitch is a better place for us. And we're probably definitely going to do this for episode 150. And you can see my beautiful cat over here now. You can see Spooky. He's right here.
Also, I'm in the same room as Trey, if you couldn't tell.
We're actually in the same room, but we're using separate cameras, so that's why it looks different, which is funny.
I didn't steal Trey's cat.
Yeah, but you did right now because he's on your lap. But yeah, this is episode 147. This week we're gonna do kind of just like a newscast, like talk about stuff that we've been playing. Kind of do not as much topic heavy, but I think there's enough stuff that's happened in between episodes for us to talk about. But let's do talk how we normally do, and talk about the games that we bought this week, or what we've been playing this week.
Well, I of course was referencing Red Dead Redemption 2, which I've been playing a lot, and
it finally loaded.
I finally loaded. Yeah, we don't have to get too much into it. I mean, I'm gonna side with saying it's a good game. I like it at this point. There's some of the mechanics I've gotten a little tired of over time, and some stuff seems a little repetitive. But I mean, the character development is nothing. I haven't seen anything like it in a modern game. I mean, maybe in like an old RPG. But this, I don't know. Something about the way the characters interact with each other is just, there's nothing else like it out there.
What is so different about it?
All right, so this is like the detail that I tell people when I'm trying to explain it. So you have like a camp, which is your like home base, and you've got, I don't know, it's like at least a dozen, maybe closer to 20 people living in the camp with you, and each one of them, has a name and a personality and a backstory. And you'll have missions and stuff with them, or involving them even. But one thing is that, like, while you're just walking around, doing stuff, wandering around, if you like kind of bump into them, you'll say like,
"Fuck you."
Well, no, see, you do say that to somebody, like, "Sorry, Reverend," or like "Sorry, sorry, Karen," like whoever they are.
Sorry, bud.
You'll have like a unique interaction with them based on who they are. They'll respond to you. Oftentimes they'll say something referencing a conversation from earlier that you had with them, or like if you played a game of poker or dominoes with them earlier, they'll say something like, "Yeah, I still can't believe that you beat me earlier, but we're gonna have a rematch." So it's just stuff like that. It's really kind of immerses you more in the game.
It's like, hey, Oh, so they like remember stuff, is what you're saying?
Yeah, and they talk about their past, and it comes up from time to time. Like you sort of can like put their stories together based on comments they make, and I think it was kind of cool. The other night, one of the guys in my group, his father was a slave, and he was telling this like really crazy story about the slave master, and then the slave master's own brother ended up murdering his brother, or ended up killing him for harming the slaves. And I don't know, it's just like a really interesting story and a lot of really colorful language. They try to keep it period specific, but obviously there's some slurs and stuff in there, which is a little shocking, but
Period slurs, though, right?
right for the period. So, needless to say, the exploration's cool. The world looks really cool. I mean, the scenery's beautiful. But for the most part, it's like a lot of other open world games where there's just a lot of empty space. And, there's some buildings here and there and some, like, events that you'll run into between locations. But for the most part, you've just got, like, a huge open world for the sake of causing it to take a while for you to travel from place to place. Eventually, you get some quick travel, but it's still not. It's still a little wonky in how it works. And I think that's kind of purposeful because everything in it is meant to feel like it's 1899 or 1898 or whatever year it is.
Yeah, it wants you to really like feel the weight of the distance, right, from one thing to another.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much what it is.
And there'll be wild animals and stuff that you'll see out, and your horse will get spooked. And like even in if you like go into a shop, like instead of having a normal menu, you actually pull out like a black and white catalog that you're looking at, and it shows the paper, and you choose the thing on the paper.
Interesting.
And so it's everything about it's just got a nice aesthetic, I guess. But anyway, yeah, I've been playing it. I probably sunk about 20 hours into it so far, and probably will do at least that again to finish the game.
You think you'll make it all the way through? You think you'll actually finish it?
I don't know if I'll get 100%, but I'm going to beat it.
You can see credits?
I'll see credits, yeah. It's very forgiving with with checkpoints and stuff. I've glitched out a couple of times and had to like reset checkpoints, and one time I had to jump off a cliff to kill myself because I couldn't really figure out what else to do. But
because you got stuck in a train, right?
Yeah, I got stuck outside of a train, but I needed to be in the train.
Yeah. But it's, have you lost a lot of like time from glitches like that? Because that's always the worst.
There was one where I might have lost about 20 minutes of gameplay because there's a loading glitch, but
that sucks.
I don't know. We'll see. The missions haven't been very hard so far, but I'm now in Chapter 3, and they're starting to get difficult. Like, there's this mission where you have to hunt a cougar, and it's like an albino cougar, and it's inside of a cave in the dark. And so it's super creepy, and he just keeps killing the fuck out of me. Like, he comes up behind me and kills me. I never see him before he gets to me. And he chews on your head until you're dead. Like, no matter how much health you have, he just mauls you to death.
Oh.
You can't really do anything about it.
I heard the animals are pretty fierce in that game.
Especially the legendary, which I think he's considered a legendary animal.
Like a Zapdos? like an Articuno or one of those guys?
Yeah, so they're animals that for whatever reason, like there's a grizzly bear that's like, the biggest grizzly bear that anyone's seen. So that's like a legendary grizzly bear. And he's like all gnarly looking because he's gotten shot a bunch, but he's lived through it. And
yeah.
There's like I think there's like a fox too that's like a legendary fox. I don't know. A lot of side quests.
Fox McCloud?
If you've ever played Grand Theft Auto, it's like that, but in the Old West. And then
yeah, so you like walk up to a horse and hit Y, and then you open the door and get in it.
Yep.
Does it have? Well, it doesn't have that goofy animation that it did in Grand Theft Auto 3, where they just walk up and then like stop, and then it's like.
It's a little more natural looking, but sometimes it can be a little jarring the way it works.
Except now you walk like with your legs like super spread out the whole time.
Yeah.
Like you've been riding shit.
Yeah.
You played some Nintendo stuff also on the way up here.
I did.
I saw you. Well, I didn't see, but you told me earlier.
I played a bunch of Pocket Card Jockey. I played that for about half of my trip up here, so probably at least an hour and a half of it.
So how do you feel now that you've experienced the greatest sports game of all time?
It's addictive.
It's a great game.
Once you get into the swing of it, it's hard to put down, for sure.
Yeah, I was surprised that you were rocking the 3DS again. I didn't expect that. What brought you back to Pocket Card Jockey? Were you just kind of like,
well, a lot of it was circumstantial. I got on the train, and usually I try to get the coveted window seat because there's a power outlet.
Oh, yeah.
And since I didn't want to like drain my phone and my Switch, I thought, well, I'll just start by playing my 3DS for a while until I need to like mess with those things, because I wanted to save my phone battery for when I got here if I needed the map, and I didn't want my Switch. I guess I could have played my Switch, but anyway, I just pulled out the 3DS and like, what's on here? And I'm like, wait a minute, I downloaded this game a long time ago, but I've never played it. Like I played the demo, but I had never actually opened the file of the game itself when I bought it. So I did, and it was great.
How many horses did you go through?
Oh, in Red Dead? Or in that?
No, in Pocket Card.
I've lost one horse.
Oh. Did you make it to the... Because there's like a baby... Because, you get one and you like do the races as like a baby horse, and then you do the adult ones. And in the adult one, you can only like lose so many, and then you just have to start over again. But you can use that...
Like the whole game over again?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, but what... So you haven't gotten to that part yet. Because like you start your horse as a baby horse, and you can basically lose as many races as you know. I mean, you'll know how good your horse is in that, and then when you get to the adult mode, I think you can only lose like maybe 3 before you have to start all over again. But the cool thing is that you can keep that horse, the one that went over, and you can breed it with another horse.
Okay.
And you can like carry on the traits from that horse into the next generation of horses. So that's like how the game never ends, basically. Like you'll race a horse and you'll try to get one that's really good, and as you're in the like baby horse stuff, you'll be like basically like figuring out your attributes or whatever. So you'll like level it up in a certain way. And once you get to the adult version of it, you can't upgrade it anymore. So you want to take the adult horse as far as you can. And if it's good enough, you could breed it with another horse that's great, and then you'll have an even better baby horse after that. That's kind of how the game goes on and on and on, and that's part of why it's so brilliant.
I'll say, yeah, what I did was I did whatever you do with the initial horse, did okay with that, and then they say you don't get this horse. Then you got to pick one of 2.
Oh, okay,
I picked the one on the bottom, and I shouldn't have picked that one because I think you're supposed to pick the one above it because it's easier to use.
Yeah, it all depends on the stats. I don't remember how exactly
So I did. So I promptly lost 3 races in a row with that horse and lost it. The owner didn't want me to use it anymore. But then since I started using the other one, I've been winning almost every race.
Oh, okay. I always like picking
and leveling it up and getting the items for it and stuff.
I always like picking the weirdest looking horse, like the ones that have cats on them, or like some have.
Some is there weird looking cat?
Yeah, some
horses?
of them are like different colored or like wear different masks and stuff. I mean, that's what you'll get from your promo guy. Like he'll want you to like push a certain horse or whatever. And sometimes you'll see ones that are like that look like leopards or whatever. They have like leopard skin. Or you'll as further you go into it, you'll see more.
I saw there were some that seemed to have almost Pokemon-like names, but then I remember,
yeah.
Isn't this made by the same company?
It is. Mm-hmm. It is a Pokemon. It's a Pokemon company, or maybe it's one of those companies.
Intelligent Systems.
No, Intelligent Systems is Fire Emblem.
Oh, you're right. Shit.
It's the company that did Pulseman on Sega Genesis before it was called the Pokemon Company. You know what I'm talking about. Oh, this is live, so we actually have to look it up.
We do.
Hopefully it'll come to me as I'm looking for it. Game Freak.
Freak. Yeah.
Game Freak, yeah. That's the ones that did it. Yeah, just talking to you about that game makes me want to play it again. It's been a while, since I played it, but I really, really liked it when I was playing it. So.
The one bummer is I don't know what happened to my stylus. So luckily I had a pin that I just used with the cap still on it.
Yeah, you can. I was gonna say you can easily make a stylus. It's not like an iPhone stylus or like a mobile stylus where you need like. It needs to be like a specific, has like a weird like Q-tip wetness or whatever that'll like
simulate skin.
Yeah, that'll simulate skin, which I thought was weird. But you can make one. You can make those with Q-tips. I don't know. I saw some YouTube video about it, but I never did. But that's cool. That's a fun game. Like it's just talking to you about it makes me want to play it again.
I mean, with the 3DS, you can just use a clicky pen. You just have it clicked in and it works great.
Yeah, you just want to be careful, like, because some of the ones that have the metal edges,
right?
It can like kind of scratch your.
Make sure it's plastic on plastic action.
Yeah, because I remember because I think I did that on my very first ugly DS, like the gray one. I think I scratched some of the bottom screen from like using a regular pen on it.
Yep.
But that was that ugly SDS, and then I traded in for the DS.
And now it's even uglier.
Yeah, and now the 3DS is ugly. You think?
Well, with the battle scars all over it, I'm saying that particular one.
Oh yeah, no, I traded it in to GameStop, so they got that one. But my light one's pretty battle scarred too. Like the hinges are all cracked, so it's like super loose and kind of feels like I'm gonna break.
Disc Replay had a silver 3D or a silver DS Fat, the brick, complete in box for $30.
Oh,
I almost bought it, but I don't need it.
yeah, those.
It came with Metroid Prime Hunters demo and everything.
Oh, okay. Yeah, from what? Oh, wait, it was a Fat. It was the big one.
It was the Fatty Bobatty, the first generation.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna say you can buy those lights for around like $40. It seems like.
Yeah, it's
that
not.
Seems to be like the
Having it complete in
the
box
asking
might have
price.
made it worth what they were asking. I can't imagine
Sure.
it's worth much more.
Would you want? Would you want the original Fat DS?
No.
Just for like nostalgia's sakes, I guess. I know it's not that old, but
I mean, I want one model of every
I know.
handheld. I don't know.
Would you get if of course if there's a different? Well, there are different models of Switches. Have you ever like been tempted by those?
No.
No, not even.
I also saw a Nomad at a Disc Replay, and they wanted, I think, $120 for it.
Oh yeah, I always wanted one of those, but I hear they don't work very well.
They don't, and their screens are notoriously bad. Like
Yeah.
they don't stand the test of time because they literally die over time.
Yeah. If any of you listeners aren't familiar with it, the Sega Nomad was the original Switch.
Mhm.
Basically, it was a portable that played Sega games. Which, when I heard about it in high school, I was like, "Oh, that's cool. That's like the greatest idea ever." Like, why isn't that like the biggest system right now? Like, that's what I thought. I was like, "Well, fuck, you can play like X-Men or Spider-Man or like Sonic or whatever on the go." I mean, that should be. I figured that would be the Nintendo killer, but it wasn't.
It
I
uses
guess.
like something like
Yeah.
it's either 6 to 8 AA batteries. You only get like 1 to 2 hours out of it, I think, and that the screen's like not a whole lot bigger than the original Game Boy screen.
Oh,
And
yeah.
the thing's almost as fat as it is
Well,
wide and tall.
yeah, I feel like the Game Gear was kind of like that too, where it was like really big. Because that was what ultimately killed Game Gear. Because also same thing, I was like, oh, this is backlit, it's colored, like, you know, they're probably gonna blow Game Boy out of the water. But Game Boy ultimately won because of batteries, because their batteries didn't die in like 2 hours, which the Game Gear's one.
I've always wanted a Nomad, and probably the coolest thing about the Nomad, I don't know if you covered it. You said it was like the Switch, that you could plug it into your TV. And
Oh
use it.
yeah, no, I didn't mention that part. I just mentioned that it was a portable Genesis,
So it was a portable Genesis, but it could
but it also
you could
be-
dock it, so to
Yeah.
speak, and
Yeah, so it was the Switch before the Switch.
had a second controller port on it, so you could play 2-player even when it was in portable mode.
Yeah, for sure. That's our Sega Genesis cast. No, I mean, I think Genesis is just as Nintendo as anything else.
Me too.
But no, that's cool. I mean, yeah, over $100 is way too much that I would pay for Nomad. But
I think
would-
it's
I would like to
probably
have
worth
one.
it if it was an investment, but I didn't really have that kind of cash to throw around, and it's just gonna sit. I'm not gonna use it, so
Yeah.
why get it?
I mean,
I'm starting to feel that way about certain games and video game systems.
some of them you're just gonna sit. Yeah.
Well, so I haven't even mentioned it yet because I keep forgetting. But one thing I did buy, I think I mentioned it several episodes ago, but I ordered a copy of Chrono Trigger for Super Famicom.
Oh no, you didn't say that.
No, I ordered it a long ass time ago,
Oh.
probably like 2 months ago.
Did it get
Totally
here finally?
forgot. Yeah, finally came last week. I think it actually came before the podcast, before we recorded, but I forgot. I haven't booted it up yet, but I'm just thinking to myself, like, that's cool that I finally own the card again, but how am I going to play it? I mean, I guess I'll sort of know what I'm doing based on having played it before, but there's going to be certain dialogue trees that I'm not going to be able to get through.
Oh yeah, you're gonna try to you're gonna try to play through it on Japanese, right? Completely.
I don't know about that.
Well, I know I mentioned it, like, I probably mentioned it a long time ago, but my plight when I was in high school about getting stuck on Chrono Trigger because I couldn't find the jerky, that's going to be a whole nother nightmare, like, in a different language. Like, knowing the exact item to give to that chef and not being able to progress because of it.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Well, you would get the
Yeah.
jerky from the same spot.
True. I mean, it is on the floor, but you also have to make sure you remember, like, the what the kanji or whatever they use, like, or the katakana or the the characteristic that it's going to be.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. I think I just wanted to own the cartridge. So it's not quite the same as owning my original Chrono Trigger, but I'm one step closer now. And it runs on my Super Nintendo, so
Have you tried it yet?
no.
Oh, you might have to like stream it or something.
Yeah.
Give it a Yeah, I don't think. I mean, there's probably not going to be a whole lot of differences.
I mean, because I have Final Fantasy
aside from the
6, same dealio. I've sort of played a little bit of it, but quickly gave up. Same with both those Dragon Quest games I got.
Oh, yeah, but you have them. You do have the translated versions.
I do on my modded SNES Classic.
Yeah. So, and I did play those last time you were here. Jeremy's been visiting every 2 weeks, so it's pretty rad.
Yeah, I think it was 2 episodes ago that I was live.
Yeah,
also,
yeah, live again, and well, it probably won't be here for your birthday one because you won't be here till after.
No.
But I bought a couple things. They're not really physical, but for some reason I decided that I was just going to pay for all my big games for the rest of the year. So I bought the $80 Smash Brothers Ultimate package, and I bought well, I was planning on buying Let's Go anyway. I went ahead and bought Let's Go and preloaded it, but I also bought the ultimate, the full Ultimate pack with the season pass and all that for the extra characters. And Nintendo already sent me the code for Piranha Plant, so I just put that in and have that ready to go too. So, and an interesting thing, if you go into the eShop and you look at like Smash Brothers Ultimate, it says it doesn't say preload; it just says pre-purchase. So I was like, oh, I'll just pay for it and I'll preload it later because we still got some weeks left, you know. And I knew I didn't have enough space, but it's automatically started trying to download it, and it's not been able to download. And the download size of it, I think, is like 17.5 gigs, which we were talking about maybe it being pretty big before, because there was the Wii U one was fairly big, and I thought it'd be around 20, but I don't know if that's actually broken in the news world, but that's what I found from buying it and downloading it, that it's at 17.5 gigs. So, and that's probably not even counting all the extra characters once they're released, and whatever patches they put in there. Because I know like ARMS and Splatoon.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a day one.
Yeah.
That's over a gig.
Yeah, because Splatoon has an extra like 5 or 6 gig thing I think that's on there, that just has been adding up like over, because they keep adding stuff to it, like more levels and stuff. So it would probably be, it probably could be like another like 5 or 6 gigs, I guess, on top of that. It makes me I want to be in the market for another card now. So it's like, yeah, I mean my 201 I feel like is really spent. I guess if I'll have to like delete. I think actually, on the subject of trades deleted games, I deleted Super Mario Odyssey.
Oh.
System. Yeah.
Wow.
That was a sad one, but I don't play it anymore. So and if I want to play it again, I can re-download it. I deleted it. I actually deleted it to re-download Kirby, because Kirby has that update coming out, which actually isn't out yet. But I don't play Super Mario Odyssey. So
Mario for Kirby.
Doesn't matter. I don't play it. It doesn't play it, so I don't need it on there. You know, I haven't played it in a long time, and if I want to play it, I'll just put it back on. You know, I'll delete some other shit. But I'm very excited about Pokemon Let's Go. Hopefully, we're going to have a special guest to come in and talk to us about that once that comes around. But I'm excited to play it. I've seen some all the reviews that I've seen seem pretty positive. I hear it's like a really good. It's a good beginner game, but there's still a lot of depth to it too. What I'm interested in is it actually makes shiny collecting and like collecting certain natures and IVs and all that of Pokemon like easier, because I never got into it that deep. I just would collect the Pokemon and just evolve them and like just play through the regular game. But apparently it made it a little bit easier to go for like the crazy like whatever rare ones and all that. So I might like try a little bit of that out. So, but we'll talk from next week. Of course, we'll talk about it and all that stuff.
But you're guaranteed insider knowledge because Trey already bought the game.
I did. I will actually be playing it on that Thursday night. After this will be posted on the iTunes, not on the Twitch.
Oh, Thanksgiving night.
Which you can find it. Well, that's next week.
Okay, it's the Thursday after.
Thursday. No, next week will be Black Friday stuff. I'm hoping to get out and get some of those games for really cheap. I'm pretty excited about it. Especially if I can get Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Fighters for $25, because I really want to play that game, but I don't want to pay for $60. But those are the games that I bought. But speaking of games that I want to buy but don't want to buy for $60, I heard that one of our listeners said that he felt that I didn't want to play Diablo 3 at all, which I'm sure I said that, but I've been kind of turned around on it from what I've heard what people have been saying about the game, and I'm more interested in it now than I was, but I don't think I can drop $60 on it. But people are really liking the game. They're saying it plays really smooth, and it's an RPG. It's like very much like Gauntlet and all that. So
It'll probably go on sale eventually.
I'm willing to give it a try, but not for 60. Just because I bought two $60 games. Well, one $80 game. Well, 90 or no. It came out to around 90 with tax. The Smash Brothers game.
Dang.
So I just wanted to take it. I just wanted to take care of all of it, so I didn't have to worry about it later. That's basically what I was doing. I'm like, I'll just buy it now, and then I won't have to worry about buying like full price games. That was my plan. And then then after that I was kind of like, well, I could have waited, but whatever. But yeah, that's what I bought for the week. As I mentioned earlier about Lacrimosa, I've been trying my hardest to beat Ys 8 Lacrimosa of Donna. No surprise. I feel like I've been trying to beat it for like the past like year or many months. But I'm actually very close. I've been doing I did like an almost 6-hour stream last night on Twitch, like trying to get all the way through it. And I'm in like the final dungeon-ish type place. There's a bunch of different like mini dungeons that you go through. But I'm on like the last mini one, and I think there's another one after that. But a lot of it's kind of like boss rush, like they're throwing a lot of bosses at you. But I found out that the name Lacrimosa actually means extinction within the context of the game, because it turns out that Donna, like her kind, was basically everything that's lived on this island that you've shipwrecked to has completely gone extinct. So her people died, but she stayed in the tree, in the mana tree, pretty much in the world tree, and that kept her alive to meet up with the new characters, and basically all of their people are going to die as well. So that's basically what the story is on it. And you run into these 4 different people. I forget what they're called, but they're all different. They're basically all different races that have gone extinct in the past years, and they're like the last version of them. And they're like the protector of this. I think in the end you basically fight God, which most good RPGs have you do anyway. At the very end you fight actually I think it's called like the evolutionary creation something or other. But I saw the name of it, but I actually got to it. But yeah, so I'll be happy to finish that game. I do like that game a lot. It's kind of it's comfort food. It was kind of like my Skies of Arcadia after Skies of Arcadia. It was just like it just hit all the right notes in the right ways. So that's what I've been playing mostly, and I played a little bit of Pokemon too. I did buy the Late Shift game that was on sale, which we talked about last week. But the game was like 7.5 gigs to download, so it took me like an hour to download it. So I fell asleep by the time it was downloaded, because I tried to play it on Monday and it took way too long to get. So I haven't actually played it yet, unfortunately. But hopefully next week I'll have some impressions of it. Is that it for? Let me check my notes real quick.
Well, we've got those new NES games.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, this is kind of news, but yeah, I did play them. So if you guys, I'm sure you have noticed, if you have a Switch and you have the Switch Online service, that the NES games have been updated. And interestingly, we didn't get to try it out on the Japanese one, but there is an extra game on the Japanese one.
Yeah, it's definitely worth noting that they added an extra, whatever they call them, the Plus mode or...
Yeah, SP.
Yeah.
The special mode. So this one, what we knew of was Metroid. Well, we knew Metroid, Mighty Bomb Jack, and Twin Bee. But Gradius SP is in there now, which is weird. Like, I never expected that. But, yeah, now you start with, basically, with the Konami code. Except I don't remember if you had the laser or not for the Konami code. You might have had when it shoots up. But anyway, it's basically the up, down, down code. And it also starts you later in the game. I don't know all the stages. I never got that far, wherever they start you at. But it might be like the last stage. But I haven't tried it, but I haven't tried that, like, if you die, if you can do the code again. But it's a similar, baby mode or whatever you want to call it. But it's a similar thing where it's like, hey, here, you can do it this way if you want to. You can add.
You always want to see the end of this game. Maybe now you can.
Yeah. So I mean, I kind of like that, but interestingly, there's also an SP version of the golf game on the Japanese game. whatever it's
NES Open.
NES Open, yeah. So we haven't been able to try that out yet and see what that is. But
I opened it up and I couldn't figure it out based on. I mean, it's all in Japanese, obviously, but.
Well, it would have you on like a later hole or something, right? I don't know. I know there's like a tournament.
I tried
mode.
starting around it and it seemed normal.
Yeah, I know there's like a tournament mode. Maybe you're like farther in the tournament.
Maybe.
I don't know, but it's probably another like advanced. It's weird that it's not in the American version, but this is the first like division between the two of them.
Well, there's one other division too.
What's that? Oh, yeah.
I guess it's not a huge division. It's about.
It's a great division.
It's bigger. It's bigger than the Zelda. So the original Legend of Zelda, we talked about it before. The audio is quite different because it was made for the Famicom disk system, and that means like the audio's different. I don't know if I'd necessarily say it's all higher quality, but it's also there's like loading times.
Yeah.
Because it's like emulating the disc. So Metroid was the same thing. Metroid was a Famicom disk system game.
Mm-hmm.
For us, it was a password cart.
Yeah, we got the shaft on that one. We got the short end of the stick. But on the Japanese one, you can save now, and it's cool. Like Jeremy was showing me on his Switch, but yeah, there's these little Samuses just all sitting there.
It looks just like Zelda as far as like the level select screen, and it came out the same year, right? Or like a year later.
It was around the same time.
But it uses like the same engine to a certain extent.
Yeah, because like I remember like when they were doing the big Zelda, like whatever anniversary, and Metroid wasn't getting anything. Like a lot of people were being like, "Well, why is there no Metroid thing?"
Forgot about Samus and Kid Icarus.
Yeah, but yeah, so it's I mean, now you could do the save state, so it's not that big of a deal, but for the time, it's pretty cool. Like if I had a Famicom system, I would want to play it on that one.
Yeah, and I don't think there's any text in that game.
There isn't.
So
I mean, there's no text at all.
It may be the superior way to play it if you don't want to use save states.
Yeah, the only text is the very opening. Like, there's a little paragraph that refers to Samus as a he in that. But there's just like a little thing saying like, oh, Samus had to go to this planet, blah blah blah, to research this mysterious whatever. But yeah, no, there's nothing. There's nothing in the game that you need to read really. Like, there's no. You'll figure out where the life is. I know there's like some Japanese in there for like start or continue, but you can figure that out.
We did figure out though. Probably no Justin Bailey code.
Yeah, no, you can't do Justin Bailey.
So I wonder if there's a different way to do that in the Japanese version.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never looked it up. But when I did boot up Metroid. Like after I played East till like about 7 a.m. because I was trying to make it through. And once I realized that I'm not going to be able to make it through before like noon, I was like, well, I should probably stop. But at 7, I just checked the NES to see if it was on there, and then everything updated, and I jumped right into Metroid. And just did that Justin Bailey code, and there it was. There she was in her Baileyness, jumping around and throwing that wave beam around. So, but yeah, I don't know. But yeah, there's more stuff to play. Nothing's been removed. Everything's the same on there.
Hopefully, it continues to be like that.
Yeah.
Unless they want to, I don't know. Maybe they'll get rid of games that they notice people aren't playing as much. If there's a way to tell that, I don't know.
I hope they don't.
Why would they need to?
I don't want them to get rid of anything. They should keep everything on there. Because then it will be kind of like the NES Netflix, as they've been calling it, or Netflix. Which, speaking of Netflix, I got 2 things that are kind of like that. I don't know if you heard, but Netflix on the Wii is getting canceled soon.
Oh,
did you see that? They're
yeah,
finally cutting the cord on that. I don't know what the actual date is, but I did see an article about that.
I don't remember what year it came out. It had to have come out in
the Netflix for the Wii.
2010, maybe.
I would say around then, probably. I mean, because I was fairly new to this apartment, and I moved here in about 2009. But it was after, I remember the PS3 got it first, I think. Or the 360 or whatever. Because one of my roommates had a 360, and he had Netflix. Like, he introduced it to me. Mm-hmm. And there were the boot discs and all that. And then I got the PS3 with it on there. And it was on there before the Wii, so I watched it on the PS3, and then it came to the Wii too. So I have both of those boot up discs still for the PS3 and the Wii.
Wow.
Before they added it as like an app and all that, So yeah, but
I didn't know about the discs. I missed that part.
The boot up discs.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that was the original.
I remember actual discs from Netflix getting those back in the day.
No, they were red discs that said Netflix, and they were for all the. I mean, I never had a 360, so I don't know about that. But the PS3 and the Wii used them. So you would just put it in like a game and start it like that. That was the very, very beginning of of Netflix, of the instant Netflix, not the discs and all that. But the Wii, the internet's gone. The eShop's pretty much gone. I mean, I think you can still buy it if you have coins.
But you can't add
coins. But I think that's going to be going soon.
Which I need to spend the rest of my money.
Yeah, I think that wasn't that supposed to go in like March of next year, probably in 2019.
That's sooner than later. That's less time than since I put the money on.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't. Well, I guess maybe you didn't know.
No, I knew.
No, I mean what to get.
No, I don't.
You didn't know what to get with your coins.
I don't know what else to get.
You got to just like pull the trigger on something. That's what
I did. I mean, I got.
That's why I got a whole bunch of weird shit that I may never play, but I got it.
I did get some weird shit.
Like the Princess Tomato Kingdom. You got that one.
Yeah,
right?
I got that.
Yeah, I got that one, and I got like.
I got the Euphoria game.
Yeah, Euphoria and the baby Butaki, whatever it's called. That one. It's weird.
It is. It is. Which it is something weird like that.
Yeah, I got that baby game, and I got the Do Re Mi Fantasy. I got that one too, which actually had some songs in the.
I don't even know.
Radio.
Yeah, I don't know how much more money's on there, but I need to check.
For sure, yeah.
Because I don't want to waste that. But yeah, the we did just have a game come out recently.
Just Dance. Oh well, yeah. I mean that came out.
So I mean, at least it's still getting support from.
That came out a while ago.
Just Dance. Well, yeah, a while ago, meaning a few months ago, in the relative sense of the Wii's life, that's not that long ago. I mean, it's a 12-year-old system as of this month, right?
What, the Wii? Is it?
Came out in 2006. I think it came out in November.
Yeah, probably, right? Yeah, no, I think it was around... Yeah, no, I feel like I was still in school. I graduated in 2005, so... I know it's at least 10 years. Maybe, yeah. Yeah, the news story on the Netflix was announced this week, but they will be cutting the cord on it January 30th of 2019. So there is some time of that, but I think that's kind of hilarious that they kept it going for so long. But of course, you will still be able to re-download WiiWare and all that crap for however long. But oh yeah, and then they're also But another thing that I was gonna say, Netflix-wise, I mean it's not really Netflix, but YouTube was added to the Nintendo Switch right after we stopped recording.
Curse
yesterday.
the podcast.
So hey, you can watch NintenDomain videos on there now.
Yeah.
I took a video of myself from my Halloween list video and put it on my Twitter. So, it's a fun thing to hold your. So now you can watch all of my playthroughs of stuff. You can watch Jeremy's epic Aladdin playthrough.
Oh yeah. With me flexing my video editing skills.
Yeah, with the sail and Jim, all the songs about Jim.
The song about
Jim and the sailboat.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Jim.
Yeah.
Me and Jim have our own new world.
Yeah.
A whole one.
Yeah. This is a pretty funny one.
So. Yeah, you can listen to a lot of our podcasts on there too. I don't know if they're all up, but
oh yeah, no,
several of them are
actually
on there.
I fell out of putting the most recent ones, but I do think there's a good amount of them. There's got to be like 40 or 50 in there of the old ones, but you can listen to those as well. But yeah, that's finally they got another video thing. Still no Netflix or Amazon, but,
or Twitch.
Or Twitch, yeah.
Twitch would be pretty nice.
Yeah, Twitch would be fun too, because you could be watching this on your Switch, but now you can finally watch directs on your Switch, and I think that's what's really important.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what the people need.
You can also watch videos of games that will never be on Switch.
Oh yeah,
and cry about it.
There was a whole rash of stuff on Twitter of people taking pictures of basically watching playthroughs of Mother 3 on their Switch. Did you see that?
I didn't see that, but that's.
Yeah. So then you can be all trolly like that and be like, "Oh, look what I got," and it's like, shut up, it's not on there.
Of course, I saw people putting Red Dead Redemption videos on there.
Oh, okay, yeah, I saw Mother 3. I saw a bunch of those people being like, here it is. Oh, poor Mother 3, never gonna come out. What else news is there? Well, I mean, I guess kind of our topic would be like the Pikachu trailer that came out.
Oh God!
But I don't know. Do you want to take a quick break and then we can do
Sounds good.
We can do news. All right. Since we're streaming this, I'm just gonna give you a little ditty to hang out to, and then we'll be back.
still showing the video of us? Oh yeah.
All right, we're back. So we can talk about some news stuff. Also, I mean, there's something that we did tonight, I guess, that we could talk about that's video game related.
Kind of video game related, yeah.
I mean, well, before we get into the actual thing, so as I said, Jeremy's been coming up here in Chicago for like the past every couple weeks to see bands play. And this band played tonight. I'll let you introduce their names and all that. But while we were waiting for the band to start, they were playing video game music in the Talia Hall. And I remember Jeremy was in the merch area, and I just walked out because I'm like, I know this song. And I walked out, and they were playing Disaster Piece, which followed with a song from the Scott Pilgrim game. Both of stuff that were on WRT radio playlists that I had. And I was like, wait, that's my shit. So I did feel a little jealous that they were playing video game music in a big room, and nobody seemed to give a shit about it. Like,
people were dancing and stuff.
Into it. Yeah, it was probably the most weeaboos I think I've ever seen. Or weeaboos? How do you say that? I don't even know. I don't even know the term.
You can just call them weebs.
Weebs. I've just heard it from Bob Mackey on
Yeah, it's
on
an
his
internet
podcast stuff. Lots
trend.
of well, there were some Asian folk there too.
There's all manner of people there.
Yeah, but very young people made me feel like I was the oldest person there.
Well, anyway, the band was called Quero Quero Bonito. They're from London, but the singer is from Japan. So she kind of like goes back and forth between English and Japanese when she sings, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And they were like, for this tour, I guess, because their newest album's like more of a straight like pop rock album, maybe indie rock. I don't know what you'd call it. It's got some noise and stuff to it.
I thought it was very poppy, but
there's a lot of noise.
Yeah.
Like if you notice, they were doing a lot of noise on stage tonight. Like that's all
I did
over the
catch
album
that
too.
which I found that interesting.
But they're really cool. And their first album, the one that I probably am the most familiar with, had a lot of. It sounds like, well, they used a lot of samplers, and there's a lot of like old video game music samples in there, like particular like effects and sounds and stuff. So I was hoping to hear some of that tonight, but it didn't sound like. It sounded like they were kind of minimal on their keyboards and they weren't using like a sampler.
Mm-hmm. There was also some weird mixing issues tonight. I think I felt like it wasn't quite. Some stuff was lower than others, but
They could have been louder for sure across the board.
I mean, I didn't know anything about this band aside from Jeremy, and I decided to go just to like check it out. And yeah, it was something. I mean, it was. I didn't dislike it. It was just kind of. I wanted to hear like the recorded version of the songs to see like to be able to hear all the different sides to it, and I think that would have probably made me more interested
which you
in
still
it.
can.
Which I can, yeah. So I mean, I might even buy it. Who knows? But to me, like it kind of felt like J-pop light, I guess. Is kind of what I got out of it.
Yeah, like more accessible, westernized J-pop.
More like more English J-pop. I mean, well, British J-pop, I guess.
I mean, that's kind of what it is. Yeah.
Is what I got from it. So, but yeah, it was weird. Me being not a fan at all. Like some of it was kind of strange to me. Like, pulling out a stuffed animal and everybody screaming for it. But I guess that's the content of their songs, right?
Right. So they've got a song called Flamingo. Mm-hmm. So she pulled out a stuffed flamingo, and she was even doing a little flamingo dance. I don't know if you noticed that.
Nope.
And then
I don't know what
there's another song called
dance.
Pocket Crocodile, which is about a crocodile that lives in your pocket. Mm-hmm. And she had a little stuffed crocodile for that. And she was putting it on her head, and she put it on the drummer's head at one point. It was silly, but I think I said something about having a thing on my head at the start of the show.
At the top of the show, yeah.
That's what I was talking about. Believe it or not, I don't really have an animal on my head.
Well, you could. There's one back there.
No, you're spooky.
Yeah, I mean, apparently that's a thing. There are people who stream with stuffed animals on their heads, so
it's comfortable.
I mean, kids are into it now. That's what the youngins do. They put stuffed animals on their head.
It probably helps you work on your posture while you're sitting at a desk.
Yeah, I did. I was watching the drummer. Like there were two drummers that kept alternating, and the female drummer, she put the singer put the crocodile on her head. And she drummed through all of it without dropping it, and I was like, "That's dedication, man. I would have taken that shit off my head."
Man, when Sarah puts a stuffed animal on your head, you leave it.
Yeah,
that's just how it goes.
I know, but it's getting you got to be very posturized while you're doing the drums and stuff. But didn't you say they've used Super Nintendo effects and
yeah, you'll hear it a lot on their first album. It's called Intro Bonito, and if you just listen through it, you're gonna hear some stuff that sounds familiar, including I think there's like a little miniature part of a. Like a really like clipped out part of a refrain from Mario 64 is in there. There's just like little samples I hear here and there. I'm like, okay, that sounds really familiar, but I can't exactly place it.
Yeah, yeah. And you found how did you discover this band?
I discovered this band on Spotify. I was listening to the Chip Tanaka album, Django.
So you discovered it through Nintendo, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I did. So yeah,
through Chip Tanaka's Django album.
Yeah, which is amazeballs, as everyone knows. I love that album. And it Spotify just did a related searches thing, and I don't know how, other than I guess the Japanese connection there and some electronic stuff. It was playing some of their more like I was saying, their first album's more like straight up synth and vocals. Like there wasn't live instruments.
I mean, really it's kind of sample heavy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, that's how it happened, and like now I'm. Since I started listening to the band, they got signed to a record label in my hometown, which is weird because they're from across the pond. But they got signed to a label right like that's like a couple miles from my house. So it's kind of weird too, just a random coincidence. But hopefully, I get to see them again as a result of that. I hope they play a show in Champaign-Urbana sometime.
If they don't blow up. They're not like super.
I don't know. I mean, there was a lot of people there tonight. They definitely are popular, and they definitely had like the people that were into them were really into. Like I thought I really liked this band, but tonight I realized like yeah, I like them, but I'm not like that kind of fan.
But not as much as everybody there.
I mean, there are people that were like that knew all the Japanese lyrics that were obviously not Japanese people.
Oh yeah, no, I caught that.
And I was just like, wow, that really is dedication. And I'm not going to lie, I did transcribe one song, and it took a while, but I did transcribe one song to see if I could try to learn it. And no way.
Well, you probably know like the sounds, right? I mean, I know.
No, I know the sounds, but actually memorizing it would not work out for me.
I mean, I have like the intro to Mystical Ninja memorized. I mean, I don't know what the actual words are, but I know the sound, like, you know.
Yeah.
Like I can sing it to myself, you know, but I don't. But I don't know if I'm saying the dialect exactly right.
If I put my mind to it, I could probably learn it. But like I said, I found the lyrics online, but all the Japanese portions were in kanji, so I had to translate the kanji into the phonetic English spelling of it. And that was when I was able to like. Okay, well, that's like at one point she says. I don't even remember.
It'd be hard to say.
She says Sasunde, which means something.
Yeah.
That's one word I remember. Sasunde, to move on or something like that.
I'm sure it means something.
That's the only word I remember. And sayonara and sensei. Oh, but I knew those words already.
Yeah, I know those words. Yeah, but it was fun. I mean, there were definitely a lot of fans there, a lot of Nintendo fans, I'm sure.
Yeah, I was happy to be there.
I could have brought if I had like a disc of if I had a disc of Wart Radio, I could hand it out or something.
The opening band, Tanuki-chan, I hadn't really heard much of them. I thought they were a Japanese band because once again, well, they've got a very Japanese sounding name, but they're from California.
Oh,
Oakland,
yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
But they were interesting. They were like, I'd say grunge, like a grungy like shoegaze, like almost shoegaze. I don't know. That's hard to explain. But
that's what I thought that other band was like that we saw.
That they were grungy.
No, shoegazers.
Oh, those were doomgazers.
The guys that were really emotional about things. They were really they had feelings about stuff.
Yeah. And they were gonna make you think about some real shit.
I mean, that's what they were all like. Yeah, we're sad, and you're gonna be sad after this or something. But no, I mean that was I thought it'd be cool to mention that just because that's a video game.
Right, and hearing people listening to video game music out in the wild in like a recreational way was nice.
Yeah, in a fucking giant venue, just like blasting it. I mean, that was dope.
So maybe it's just all about playing it for the right crowds at the right times.
I mean, yeah, I mean they were into it. I mean, maybe it's the younger folks. I mean, people like it at the meetups too. So it's not unheard of, you know.
But anyway, if we continue to stream on Twitch, I'm gonna probably end up having to wear a stuffed animal on my head.
Yeah, well, this is just a test, you know. We haven't really had anybody interacting with it or anything, but you know, I'll just try it out.
Put my Switch on my head.
Let's do well. Oh, thankfully it's in the case. Maybe don't drop it. Yeah, there it is. If you're on Twitch, you can see.
Got a switch on my head, but don't call me a switch head.
Yep. So let's talk some more news. One thing I forgot to say in the first half. This isn't really fully video game related, but I think it is. Stan Lee died a couple days ago.
Mm-hmm.
That was. I think it's totally video game related because I'm a huge comic book fan. The Fantastic Four is probably my favorite comic of all time. That was Stan Lee's baby. That's basically what made him famous originally. That was his first good comic, and everything spawned from that. I mean, even the original Spider-Man, second Spider-Man issue took place at the Fantastic Four's at the Four Freedoms Plaza. They used them to sell Spider-Man books, so it was a huge thing. But you know, I love comics. I love comic book games. You know, like some of it's responsible for me getting into both. I guess I think they were all kind of linked when I was younger. Like, you know, I played a lot of like Batman on NES. Well, that's DC, but But I played a lot of the Spider-Man games, like in the Marvel stuff on Super Nintendo, and yeah, he died at 95. I just wanted to do a shout out to him and all that for being like him, and he's like part of the big trinity of people like me growing up. It was like him and like Miyamoto and I don't know, George Lucas probably at one point.
Lloyd Kaufman now.
and then Lloyd Kaufman later. So it was like they were all like people that I thought were very visionary, directors or creators or writers in their own sense, and yeah, part of the team of people that I always wanted to meet and never did. Unfortunately, I never got to meet him, but he seemed like a cool dude, and I felt like we should mention him on the show just because of that. Our hearts go out to his family and whatnot.
Yeah.
Stan.
It's sad. I mean, I know he was old and all, but it still sucks that he died. I know
he had a hell of a life. So
there's some
he
like
definitely did a lot of shit.
Some darker stuff that was happening with him in the past few years. Like not his fault, but like wasn't there like some elder abuse or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the details of that, but I did hear. I mean, it happens. It happened to my grandparents too. So it sucks. Like even to Stan, it's like, come on, man. He did great things. Don't fuck with him.
But it's amazing to think of like just how rich and detailed the worlds are that he like created. Granted, he didn't write every element of it, and other people helped him develop the ideas, but he's the one who spawned all of that. It all came out of his brain. That's where the big bang of the Marvel Universe occurred.
Yeah. Yeah, well, he was he was big into having he was big into having the characters interact with each other and have the teams and all that stuff, and it actually, all his stuff, at least he got to see it all come to fruition, and now it makes a shitload of money in the theaters. So even though I always wanted him to be alive long enough to see a good Fantastic Four movie, but I guess you can't live that long. But I mean, now since they're back and acquired by Marvel, maybe they will. Who knows? So some more news stuff. So the Switch eShop added search filters now. It's kind of a small thing, but it's still pretty cool.
Wow.
Now you can search by genre, which I just kind of like fell on, and I didn't realize it was a new thing. But now you can search by genre and price range and other stuff like that. So still no folders, but now you have that in there, which was a pretty cool thing to see on there. What else do I got saved in here? Oh, did you hear that Katamari Damacy is going to be exclusive to GameStop? Like
I thought it was just the physical
version?
Yeah.
Well, obviously, I mean, we'll be able to buy it online. Like it would be stupid for it not to be available digitally. But as far as physical, exclusive to GameStop, which is weird. Like I feel like they haven't done that in a while. Wasn't Xenoblade Chronicles the first one exclusive to GameStop? And so was Ninja Gaiden on DS, like the book one. Did you ever play that one?
Mm-mm.
You like play it like a book, and it's like on the side, and you control Ryu Hayabusa with like the
stylus.
With the stylus only. Yeah.
Weird.
I played it at GameStop. I never bought it, but it was a GameStop exclusive, and I'm surprised they're still doing that shit. But I guess if they can still do exclusive amiibo, they can do that. But that's crazy. Isn't that game like coming out around the time of Ultimate, pretty much?
It is, because it was supposed to come out around my birthday or on my birthday, and now it's
I think it said winter,
like a week or two later.
It's like December. Yeah,
it's December, but I think it was at one point it's supposed to come out on November 30th.
Yeah. Speaking of stuff that's coming out at the same time, so thanks. I didn't get it, but I kind of wanted it. The SNK 40th anniversary is available now on the Switch, and apparently, from what I've heard, there's the arcade versions of stuff and also NES versions, is what Retronauts was saying. So if it's wrong, blame them. But they said that apparently the Ikari Warrior games are on there, which haven't been on any of the Switch. None of them have been released on the Switch, as far as I know. And it's cool because it's a collection, but it's also stuff that's not already available. So
same with Chrysalis. Yeah. It hasn't been put on.
Well, yeah, Chrysalis, the arcade,
which
game
was not an
NES
arcade.
game,
which is not an arcade. I did look it up.
Well, it was on SNK.
Yeah, SNK made it, but it was only on the NES.
Okay.
And then they put it on Game Boy Color eventually.
I figured it was an arcade game just because all their.
I hoped it would be.
Their stuff is an arcade.
I was really interested to see what incarnation would be, but
Yeah.
no, it did say, like, I watched the trailer. It's the first time it's been available for purchase in 20 something years. So probably, I don't know if they're referring to probably the Game Boy Color version was the last one
Of Chrysalis.
that you could buy like a retail. Yeah.
Did they was that in the NES like reprint stuff? The Chrysalis.
NES reprint.
Well, like it was a Game Boy Color game, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh no, I guess that was Game Boy Advance. Never mind. But was it? I mean, was it along the lines of like when they re-released like Shadowgate and like Deja Vu and stuff like that? Is that basically what they were doing with that?
I think so.
Like it was a port of the NES game.
It was like a straight up port.
Yeah, I don't
Game
even
Boy Color port.
I don't even remember that coming out. I'm surprised you haven't got that. Like, don't you like sort
It's
of have
not
a
cheap. It's
love for
not
Chrysalis?
expensive, but it's also not cheap. My mom has it.
Even though I hear it's not very.
That's
good.
how I know about it, because she
Yeah.
got it at a garage sale or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And that was one of her favorite NES games.
Isn't
so.
that the one? Isn't that the one that has like similarities to Breath of the Wild?
Yeah, it's the one.
where you
There's
wake
a
up
lot.
in a- you
The
wake up
intro
in a-
reminded me a lot of it.
You wake up in a bed or whatever in the slumber station, something like that.
And you don't have a memory of anything, and you pop out of the cave, and someone sees you, and like you find out like all this destruction's happened in the world while you've been sleeping.
Weird. Yeah, no, I mean, I really want to get it. I just wish it wasn't $40. Like $40 seems a little expensive. And I know there's 20 some games on there, so I guess that's
I think it might be worth it.
$2 a game. But I just spent like I spent like $150 on 2 games, one that won't be out for a while, so I can't really drop another $40. But I'm intrigued. I just don't know how much I would play of it. It's kind of, I'm afraid that I'd get it and just play some of them a little bit and then never play it again.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm always been interested in SNK games, so it piques my interest.
Anytime you get a large collection of stuff all at once, it does kind of feel that way. No matter how good the games are, you're like, am I going to be able to focus on any one of these for an extended period of time?
Well, if I find I think I saw that some places were going to have the whatever it is, the Namco collection on sale, like for Black Friday. I might get that if it's cheap enough. I don't know. I always kind of want to play that because it has like Splatterhouse on there, and you can play Pac-Man Verse online versus other people. Which I have that GameCube game. I've just never played it. So
same.
then I can actually do something for it. There's a new Splatfest coming up this weekend. It's the ultimate dipping fight, the war of dipping things. Guacamole versus salsa, which I don't know. I'm kind of divided on that one. I mean, I'm sure we'll do a stream of it, but what do you think? I mean, I like guacamole, but I like salsa too. I think it depends on what kind of salsa. Like if it was pico de gallo, I think I would have to go for that.
I think in real life, yeah, guacamole's great, but guacamole's more an additive with other things. Like you want other things and then some guac too. You're not straight up eating guac usually.
Oh, you wouldn't.
Although
you wouldn't just eat
people
guac?
put tomatoes in their guac, tomatoes and onions.
Yeah.
If you do that, then I'm on the side of guac. But if
Well,
you're like straight up like just avocado, salt, lime juice, that kind of guac,
Oh.
that's the one I'm like, I
I'm
think
not
I'd go
used
for
to-
the
yeah.
salsa.
Yeah, most of the time the guac that I have has other shit in it.
Okay.
Even though I don't like it when they put onions in it because I don't like onions, but a lot of times they do put tomatoes and other shit in there. But I mean, guacamole is pretty good. Like people love avocado, like especially white people apparently. So maybe that'll be the the fight. But I don't know. It's such a weird. I mean, all those Splatfests are weird stuff, but we'll get to see who wins. Hopefully, our team that we're on won't lose again.
Salsa versus guac. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna have to go for salsa. I think I'm gonna stand on that side.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll have to look at who's voting for what again. Even though I do really like guacamole, but if I could only have one. I mean, there's a lot of different types of salsa.
Yep.
There's a wide variety. You can get like bean salsa and other shit. I don't know. But yeah, that'll be the ultimate tortilla fiasco on the Splatfest front. Glad they're still getting more of those out before the end of the year. I guess there'll probably be a Christmas one too, or a December one after that, because they've been doing it like every month. What was the last one that we did? Oh yeah, that one lost. I forget what it was though, but we lost whatever. We were on.
Not retro.
It was something
Or was
versus
it one
something.
first?
Of course.
Since then.
Yeah, I don't remember if it was food related or not. We did a stream of it. I don't think it ever made it to YouTube, but it's on Twitch somewhere. You can find it. But yeah, that's happening there. I guess this is a small one, but they added a little bit of DLC to Super Mario Party. We were playing it earlier with Jess, and we finally made it through all the partner parties, which is pretty cool. It's a lot easier when you play with 3 people and you have somebody on each party or on each team. But they've added a DLC to where like those party points that I've mentioned before, you can use them now to buy advice. I can use like a certain amount to buy like tips for the game. But if you look under advice, there's like 5 or 6 question marks under there. They're just like, tiers that have not been filled in yet. So I guess that's leaving a little spot. Maybe eventually you can use your party points to buy another board. Maybe you can buy an online mode. Maybe buy some extra characters. I don't know. It's just it's a good sign for Super Mario Party that they're adding some stuff to it. Even though it's as small as some they use for the party points, they still got shit working out. And there's going to be some DLC stuff. There might be new characters you can buy in that way. I'm just, I'm positive on that, on them putting that in there. So, totally into it. But I think there's the 2 biggest news things that I basically want to talk about in this episode. Which one do you want to do first? Basically the VGA and the Detective Pikachu trailer are my big news things. Which one do you want to jump into yet? The video game nominees?
How about the Pikachu, since we're going to be more detailed about Pokemon later? And
yeah, sure. Well, okay, so pretty much on the same day that Stan Lee died, I saw more people tweeting about the Pikachu trailer than him, which sucks. But there's the Detective Pikachu, the live-action movie with Ryan Reynolds and Will Smith's kid, Justice Smith, has an official trailer now. And it seems pretty divisive, I guess. A lot of people find the realistic Pokemon in there weird.
They're a little unsettling.
We just watched it today. Well, the second time I watched it, the first time Jeremy had seen it. And I watched it with Jess, and she was not into it. She asked me to buy her a bottle of wine and a big bag of popcorn for it to go to it. And I told her she didn't have to go, but she said that she'd go for the popcorn. So I don't know. I think it looks, either way, whether it's good or not, I think it looks amazing. I think it looks like a burning trash fire or something that would be worth watching if it's bad. I think
it looks something you can't look away from.
Yeah, I think even if it's bad, it's going to be amazing. So, just because of how they like, just if you haven't seen it, listeners, just watch it and look at Jigglypuff. Jigglypuff looks so crazy with his like realistic hair curl, and the Greninjas have like scales now, and Psyduck looks like Howard the Duck, and
Mr. Mime looks like he's going to kill you.
Mr. Mime says shove it. I'm still not really convinced as Ryan Reynolds being the voice of him.
No, because I still think of Deadpool.
Well, I liked, if you played any of the Detective Pikachu game, he has like a very deep, he sounds like an older person. I actually thought, I never beat it, so no spoilers here, but I thought that maybe Detective Pikachu had the soul of the kid's father inside of him, and that's why he can talk and figure out cases and all that. Because he was the Pikachu of his father's, and apparently he could talk to his father. I don't know if they're doing this in the movie, but in the game that's how it was. So I figured either the kid is insane, and that's why he's going nuts from hearing Pikachu, or Pikachu's his dad. But, I mean, Ryan Reynolds doesn't give like the older, wiser, like, tone that the one in the game did. I mean, he's like sort of a smart aleck, but still like seems like an older person. I don't know. So his tone of it is kind of weird to me, but maybe I'll get used to it. And I'm used to him to like, I'm ready for him to do crack jokes like from Daredevil, or not Daredevil, Deadpool. I always mix up the D's, but yeah, I always expect him to say some sort of rude thing about about the DC universe or X-Men or something like that. So it's kind of a weird choice on him, but man. I mean, John isn't here, but he did text us to let us know that he's totally on board for it. He said that he feels like they referenced, that they're almost referencing Roger Rabbit in this, like in the mixture of the the live action and the animated Pokemon. Yeah, he says he has a little interested in Pokemon, but he's totally into seeing the movie. So, and it's my birthday movie. It's coming out like the week before my birthday, so it'll be on May 10th.
Wow.
Which is pretty crazy. But, I mean, let us know. Send us an email. Tell us what you think about the Pokemon
I'll tell you my
movie.
opinion. It looks terrifying, and I don't know if I'll
Does
watch
it frighten you?
If I had let's say, if a nephew wanted to see it or something, maybe. If there was an excuse to go see it, and it wasn't just for my benefit, maybe. But right now, I can't see myself going to see it while it's in theaters.
Oh, you're not intrigued by it? I mean, I know you don't go see movies as much
No, I don't see movies very
as
often.
we do, but
I'm really
yeah,
not intrigued by it. It, CGI, it's hard to feel good about CGI.
yeah, even when it's weird, realistic Pokemon.
Maybe it'll be great. Maybe I'll be wrong, and I'd love to be proven wrong. I'd love this to be an amazing movie.
I've seen worse CGI. I think the CGI looks pretty good.
Well, hopefully. It's 2018.
How do you feel about furry Pikachu? That seems to be what people are kind of weird about. Even though, come on, people, he's a mouse Pokemon. He's going to be furry.
Were they thinking he would be like smooth?
I mean, he's always been smooth in the anime, so it's kind of weird to see him like with that texture, you know?
Yeah. No, I don't find that. It's the faces that throw me off.
Yeah. It's
namely the eyes and the mouths and the
kind
nose. Okay, the whole faces.
like all of it. It's mostly just like the eyes and the hands and the feet and
If they just
everything.
photoshopped the cartoon faces on the realistic bodies, it'd be fine. No, it wouldn't. It would look even more terrifying. I'd like to see someone do that, actually.
That would be way scarier. Yeah, somebody, if any sort of person is good at doing the whatever you call it, the image stuff, do that. If you can edit things, Adobe Illustrator or whatever, Photoshop, get that.
Microsoft Paint. That's what I use.
Yeah, I can't believe that you use that, but
Well, I use Paint 3D, which is like the upgraded version.
I use fucking GIMP, which is free, so it's not great, but free. But yeah, I hope that they come out with a stuffed Pikachu that looks just like the Pikachu from the movie, because I want to buy it, and I'll just, just stick it in the bed every once in a while to scare the shit out of Jess. I'm kidding, I wouldn't do that.
Oh, gosh.
I think I'd have to keep it in here, in my office. But yeah, I want them to make stuffed animals, some stuffed Pokemon animals, stuff like that. But yeah, crazy, completely frightening. Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to the animatronic Teddy Ruxpin style Detective Pikachu.
He does kind of look like Teddy Ruxpin, but more like animated, less like robot like Ruxpin, with his flapping mouth and all that.
Also curious how they're going to work with the Pokeballs, how they're going to incorporate Pokeballs. If everything's so realistic, are they still going to magically shrink and go into Pokeballs?
Yeah, I mean they'll have to make it look good, right?
And is Cubone going to be carrying his dead mother's skull around for real?
He's gotta, if he's in it. Well, I mean, you don't see a whole lot of Pokeballs in the Detective Pikachu.
Okay.
In the game because you're in Rhyme City, where the Pokemon and the people, they live happily together, so they don't put them in balls, I guess. I mean, and in the game, they're out, they're out and walking around, they're doing stuff, which is kind of cool. Like you go to a business and they're all the people working there, they have their Pokemon with them, and the Pokemon do whatever. I think there's a electrode that powers the building or whatever. They use their powers to do stuff, like electricity, or they're experimenting on them or whatever. So it kind of makes sense, but I'm sure there'll be some sort of ball thing, but I don't find that far-fetched. Just for it.
Is Farfetch'd going to be in there?
He's got to be.
Are all 101 original Pokemon going to be in there?
I mean, there's some newer ones, like Greninja's in there. He's newer. There's some Greninjas that attack them. I don't know. I mean,
I had completely forgotten this was a game at one point. It's been so long.
It came out this year. We did an episode about it. We did a episode about Detective Games.
I never played it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we did, and I talked about.
Yeah, I do want to make it through it. I played through the first couple chapters on it, and then I fell off. But
I do remember your Agent Dale Cooper.
Yeah, if anybody who likes the trailer, make sure and check out our Twin Pikachu, Detective Twin Pikachu on the youtube.com/Fingmater. That was one I was trying to promote to get people to see now that it's popular, but I don't think anybody's watching it. Some weird shit. But let's talk about another thing that's not as weird. But let's talk about the Video Game Awards. The categories have finally come up. Let me see. I think I hope I have it. It should be bookmarked. So I wanted to. I'm not gonna go through like every single thing, but I do want to mention them for the most part. Where the fuck did it go? Oh, I might have accidentally closed it. Yeah, I think it disappeared. Yeah, I lost it. That's fine.
One of the games I'm playing is leads the pack with most nominations.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
It's tied with God of War, which I've also not played.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying God of War. I just it's weird because last year, and I watched the Game Awards last year, and there were some Nintendo stuff announced in there. Last year, they announced that the DLC Pack 2 for Breath of the Wild was available that day with and the motorcycle. You'd never seen the motorcycle before. They unveiled it there, which is pretty awesome. And they also announced that Bayonetta 1 and 2 was coming to the Switch, and then they showed the icon for Bayonetta 3. So we might see some shit. And like way, way, way back when, we talked about it on some of our very, very first podcasts. They did some stuff with Breath of the Wild, like the one where they're like sitting in the room and being like, "Hey, look, horses don't run into trees," and here's how when Breath of the Wild was so like in its infant stage, and it was like it was very much like here's what it is.
And that's when they were still saying it was coming out in 2016.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
I think summer of 2016 was like.
I feel like that might have even been 2015 too. I don't know. I feel like that video was so old. Like it probably was, but yeah.
I mean, they were still using the Wii U controller as a second screen in that video.
Yeah, well, it wasn't even Switch was not even a thing. Like I don't even know if NX was even announced yet by then.
No, not officially. I mean, it was.
Yeah.
NX had been talked about before then.
Had they? I thought it was before. I thought it was still. I thought it was not had not even been mentioned yet. I don't know. It doesn't matter, regardless. But last year's VGA, Nintendo had those. Had a huge release with the Switch, and Super Mario Odyssey and Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild were basically neck and neck for everything. And Breath of the Wild ended up winning, right? Like Game of the Year last year for VGA, I think it did.
We ended up when we did our best games of the year, we were but besides Zelda and Mario because of how overwhelmingly positive those were both received.
Yeah, we're probably going to do the same thing this year, but with Smash Brothers Ultimate. That's what I think. We'll just take that one out of the list.
Yeah, it's probably going to be pretty fucking good.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably good. I just was trying to differentiate our lists from other people's lists because I don't want to say the same thing that everybody else says. And I'm sure that nobody had Mummy Demastered in their list, so I definitely stuck out from every other one, except for maybe Jeremy Parrish. He likes that game. He's probably the only one I know other than me that talks about it. But yeah, let's look at these. So the last year had a lot more nominees, and Nintendo's kind of been silent on the first party front. But there is still some Nintendo Switch stuff in there, so I thought maybe we could discuss it here. All right, first one off the top, Game of the Year, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Celeste, Switch game. I love that Celeste is in Game of the Year. That's crazy.
I think it's amazing.
Didn't expect that to be in there. And I've voted on here. I voted for Celeste, of course, because it's the only game that I played, and plus I wanted to win over all those other games. So Celeste, God of War, Spider-Man, Monster Hunter, Red Dead Redemption 2. You're basically going to see a lot of those in all of them.
Yep.
But that's the main
all these AAA releases.
Game of the Year. But interestingly, Celeste isn't a AAA. It's an indie.
No, I'm saying versus all those other ones that are AAAs.
Versus all the big company, which.
But AAA, I only mean studio size. I don't mean the content quality.
Yeah. Ongoing game, Fortnite. That's on Switch. I'm not going to read all the games that are on here. Best game direction, no Switch games. Yeah, I pretty much voted for the ones that had Switch games in them because I never really played any of these. Best narrative, no games on there. Best art direction.
Octopath.
Yeah, Octopath Traveler is in art direction. So I voted for that one just because, I'm kind of being a Nintendo troll on here, but these are the games that I've played. So, and the ones that I like. Best score music, Celeste is in there, Octopath Traveler's in there, so there's 2 for that one. Best audio design. Not in there. Come on. Best voice performance, of course not, because there's not a whole lot of that in there. Games for Impact, whatever that means. Celeste. Once again, Celeste got a lot of nominations, which is great.
Celeste is a game that I still think about like a lot.
Yeah.
I think it made it. Maybe that's there. I just say, where's the word impact? It made an impact on me.
Yeah.
It wasn't just
Aside
a game,
from just annoying the piss out of you because of how hard it was.
but I loved it. Like
Yeah.
I never wanted to quit playing, no matter how mad I got, and that's rare in a game that hard.
It broke
But
me.
just her dialogue with the other characters, and especially her dialogue with her, I guess you would consider her depressed self or her other self, is pretty enlightening and very. It left its mark on me for sure.
It definitely did a really good job of like incorporating, like using the difficulty of it as like an allegory to like her own like struggle with herself and her depression and like mental issues and all that stuff. So that was part of like the whole getting from one thing to another. I fell out of it, and I don't know. I think it was almost like too hard for me at times where I just had to give up. But I'm willing to give it again. I do want to play through it, and I don't think I'm that far from the end. But the best independent game category is basically almost all Nintendo Switch stuff. It's like 99.9 stuff, which is great. Best independent, Celeste, Dead Cells, Into the Breach, Oberdin is the only one that's not on there. Return of the Oberdin, and The Messenger, which I love that The Messenger has made it on here. So, but yeah, it's very cool to see. I mean, I don't know if I'll watch it and stream it or not, but I'm definitely going to watch it and definitely be waiting for.
I can't believe Mario Tennis Aces is on one of these for its best sports / racing.
We can keep going. Best mobile game, Fortnite and PUBG Mobile are on there. VR AR game, don't play any of those. Best action game, Dead Cells is in there. Mega Man 11, another Switch game. Best that's best action game, but there's also best action adventure game, which doesn't have any Nintendo games in there. I don't know what the differences are there. Best role playing game, Octopath Traveler is in there. But when I voted for Dragon Quest 11 just because Dragon Quest felt like I had to vote for it, because out of all the RPGs that I saw on there, that's the one that I think is the best. I didn't play through all of Octopath, but I'm sure that Dragon Quest 11 is probably the best game out of it.
I would say Octopath because I've played it and I haven't played 11 at all.
Yeah, you played it all the way through. But I think Dragon Quest 11
Well, I got
still
to the
better.
final boss. I seen credits.
You saw credits, so you beat it. That's how it works. Fighting game, Dragon Ball Fighter Z, that was on Switch. Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle is also, so there's a couple in there for that. Best family game, there it is. Best family game, Mario Tennis Aces, Nintendo Labo, Overcooked 2, Starlink, and Super Mario Party. That is all Switch games. All Switch games are
Family.
best family. I believe I voted for Super Mario Party on that one. I don't know how Starlink is family. I guess because it's not mature. But there's like a bunch of games that are
Because it involves toys to life, sort of.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm just saying, there's no multiplayer. Best strategy game, Into the Breach, Valkyria Chronicles 4 made it into one category. What? I voted for that one, of course.
Woot woot.
Valkyria Chronicles, still playing that game. Best sports racing game, Mario Tennis Aces made it in there. So they got a best family game and best sports game. I mean, Mario Tennis versus FIFA, Forza, NBA, Pro Evolution Soccer. I'd rather play it than any of those. Best multiplayer game, Fortnite's in there. That's on Switch. I mean, it's on everything, but it is in there. Best student game, of course, none of that is Switch. Best debut indie game. Most important thing about that category is that Yoku's Island Express made it in there.
Sure did.
In there one. Of course, I voted for that because that was in there.
Over the Messenger.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the only one that Yoku's in, so I got to vote for it. For its one category that it's in. And then there's a bunch of shit that I don't know anything about. Best esports game, best esports player, best esports team, best esports coach, best esports event, best esports host, best esports moment. Oh my god.
Best person who played Fortnite with Ninja.
Best person that grabbed a gun and won Fortnite once. Content creator of the year. Also a bunch of shit I don't know about. And that's that. That's that's the Game Awards. I love how the last ones there's like 10. There's like 10 esports ones, and then content creator. That's basically what it is. It's like, oh yeah, here's a bunch of shit.
Well, because
And,
because esports creators are so prolific, they gotta like spread it out. They gotta give awards to more than just the one person that rose to the top.
oh yeah, it's weird that I feel like it's almost like half of the, maybe not half, but maybe like 30% of their categories are all like, and those are going to be the ones that they don't tell. Like I don't know if you watched all of it last year, but they gave stuff away like in the commercials, and you had to like look it up to figure out what it is. There was some stuff that they didn't even talk about. Like there was a mobile game one, like best portable, and like Metroid won that, like Metroid 2, and it was just like didn't happen. They didn't.
Oh,
do a
the
ceremony
remake,
for it or
Samus Returns.
Yeah, they didn't do a ceremony of it for anything. I think it was like in a text blurb or something that was like, "Hey, here it won." So that was kind of weird. But they're like their orchestra that they had was really cool. Like I liked all that stuff. It's a shame that we won't see any Nintendo presence in that. Like there won't be like, that's fucking Jump Up Superstar song, which I'm kind of annoyed by now. But
Yeah,
at the time we liked. I like that other one better.
I would love to hear them play some Celeste live.
They
Stuff
might.
from Celeste.
They might if they're gonna try to do like the Oscars. Like how they do all the original songs every year
if I do get around to voting on this, I'm going to vote for Celeste
on everything.
and everything I can because that game's amazing. And I was saying it. I believe it's in the podcast. I said at the time that it was in contention for my game of the year already at that early of a point, and I still feel that way about it. I still feel like it might be my favorite game that came out this year.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to show up in your. I'm sure it'll show up in your.
You're going to be hearing a little
10.
bit more about Celeste from me
towards the end of the year, yeah, on that top 10. I think Celeste will probably pop into my top 10. Maybe not as high, but I'm sure it'll be in there somewhere.
You really should go back and try to play it a little more.
I do.
Maybe now that you've been able to cool off from it a little bit.
I want to finish it. Well, I mean, I played Messenger and then tried playing it again, and it just plays completely different, so it's hard for me to do it.
It really does.
But I need to, yeah. I want to. There's going to be like, because we do our like best games like in January, like in the first week of January. So I want to use, I'm going to have like my Christmas time off to basically play more of the games that I think are contenders for my game of the year list. Is basically what I'm going to do, and of course I'll be capturing footage for the video and all that. So as of right now, it's. I'm going to my mom's house for some time for Thanksgiving, and she has a big TV there, so I'm excited to play. She has like a 60-inch TV, so I'll get to play. I don't know. I'll probably play Pokemon and some more Octopath and probably some Valkyria. I don't know. Maybe if I get Starlink, I'll play it on that. That'll be cool.
Some NES Open.
If I get I could play that too. Well, if I get Dragon Ball, that was always something that we would do. Like when you got a bigger TV to play stuff on, we always play fighting games because like the characters look so huge. So, and I'm really excited to play Dragon Ball Z. I like just listened to that Retronauts episode about it, so I was excited. But yeah, I think that's our show for this week. It's been episode 147. We are your host. I'm Trey Johnson.
I'm Jerry Mikowski.
We did it old school. We took it back to the beginning where there's only two of us. We did that. And in the same room, which we did in our very first one. Even though we weren't like completely drunk like that second one, which I thought about maybe doing that. But we didn't have enough time. Too much shit going on. But
we both. I mean, I have a PS4 now, so that drunk me from episode 2 would be disappointed in myself.
I just love hearing you drunkenly say balloons. That's probably my favorite part of the whole episode. Balloons. Yeah. But you can find that and other episodes of NintenDomain Podcast at NintenDomainPodcast.com. Yeah, that's if you have like was it Pocket Cast or like even Spotify, you can go all the way back to those first couple episodes and listen to us beginning and how we didn't have the right handheld microphones and everything kind of sounds funny. So you can listen to how we figured out.
We didn't care much about maintaining any sort of air of professionalism.
Well, we were just trying to figure it out. I mean, that's part of the fun of podcasting, right?
Yep.
And 100 episodes later, here we are. But yeah, thanks for listening. You can catch us at twitch.tv/NintenDomain Podcast or youtube.com/Fingmater, FINGMATER. You can catch us on Twitter. I'm at Nintendo_Domain. Jeremy's at JMaxTech. can find that stuff. Make sure you check out our Friday night streams. We'll do some. We're gonna do some Splatoon 2 stuff, of course, and then who knows? There might be like an Ocarina of Time thing coming in the future, since it is about to be 20-year anniversary for that. And we got a bunch of cool episodes coming up. We got some more guests. We'll be doing something similar to this, I'm sure, to the live stream for episode 150. I wanted to make sure that it works, but for anybody who watched it, make sure you go to iTunes and download it, and rate it if you could. That would help our visibility, and subscribe. Also, we could also use more subscriptions, and send us an email if you want a free game. Nobody asked for the free game, so the Haunted Hollywood 86. It's a great game. Send us an email and say hello or fuck you or whatever, and we'll give it to you. So send an email, NintenDomainPodcast@gmail.com. That's how you get a hold of us. And
by the time someone orders this game, it's gonna be on Christmas.
Yeah, it will. Anyway, thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.
See ya. Did we say Trey Johnson and Jerry Mikowski at the end? I don't think we did.
Yeah, we did.
We did? Okay.
Yeah. There you go. It's 2:30.
Thanks,
I went over a little bit. But
that's okay. It is time to sleep, though, for sure.
Yeah, go for it. Oh, yeah, we're still streaming. And for anybody who's watching us, I'm going to stream the end of Ys 8 after this, so stay tuned. I'll be back in like 10-15 minutes.